Welcome back to the Forge, where two enter. One leaves champion, and the other leaves beaten, battered, and bruised. I'm your host, Tiny Grimes, and I'm joined, as always, by Jake Almighty. And we have two wonderful competitors joining us today. We have Hectares, who just finished second in the most recent Forge Watch Invitational, with quite an interesting deck, an innovative deck, and we'll see if he has brought it back today to show it off again and to try to take down the other competitor, RosenFloggen. RosenFloggen had a top 8 in Unheroic, and he's had quite an impressive run in the Constructed queue, and he has a number of articles. So we thought we would bring him on to see if his skill can back up his writing prowess. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these decks, Jake. So we've got Hectares here. This is the deck he brought this weekend, I think. I didn't actually compare it, but it sure looks similar. He's got a bunch of cool stuff happening with Warmonger mods that he puts on guys with breakthrough like Thunder Swords and Oros. He's got Nexus Tactician along with the Scarab. I mean, what's going on here, Jake?
Okay, I mean, this deck's a little bit crazy and very much new. I haven't actually seen Warmonger mod in action yet, personally, since its buff. I do like that they opened it up from its previously very restricted mode. So that'll be interesting. I hope he plays it. He's also got 3 Aloyan Strategists, which hasn't really been seen too much in Constructed yet. But obviously, here it comes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Thunder Sword and Patriarch to buff the Thunder Sword and Strategist to buff the Thunder Sword. I feel like since he's not using Battle Tactician and he's using Thunder Sword, Strategist is pretty important. And if he's doing stuff, it looks like his plan is to break through quite a bit. And the Strategist should work quite well with that, moving over to help guys break through.
Yeah, for sure. He can even potentially, with a jetpack, move a Strategist and a guy so that he can line up his guys exactly how he wants it for lethal damage, for example.
Yep.
A lot of interesting things he can pull off.
I think he has more 2-ofs than any deck I've ever seen.
Quite possibly, yeah. He certainly has a lot.
Yeah, so this should be interesting. I look forward to seeing this in action. I joined the Forge Invitational commentary channel just in time for the finals, and I had heard Hectares has this amazing, cool new deck, and he played against a Yeti deck, and the Yeti deck just stomped him into oblivion because it had, like the God draws. It was like Ice Mage, Warcaller, Warlord. And Hectares is just kind of like, okay, all my guys are dead again. That was awesome. Thanks for the game. So I didn't really get to see it in action. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in all its majestic glory. All right.
Yeah, should be good.
Let's take a look at RosenFloggen's deck. He is running an NT build. Now, I know this is going to shock you, Jake. I'm done with NT. I've sworn off NT. I've had enough after this weekend. I can't take it anymore. My heart can't take NT. But this is a different NT deck. He's got Predators and Devourers. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot more, it's much closer to how NT used to look than how it's been looking more recently. It's got all 6 Grimgods. He's got the Static Shock package in there with a whole lot of spells, so he's looking to play things and then play a whole bunch of spells in a chain and grow that Predator or Devourer immediately. Very much a snowball deck. He also has 3 Eben Skull Knights, who, if you haven't tried Eben Skull yet, he is huge. He is a guy who goes in front of somebody, blocks it, almost always lives, and then, keeps swinging for 8 damage a turn. And they never want to block him again, because he's going to die in a couple turns.
All right. He is pretty amazing. By the way, you were mocked roundly recently for your initial perceptions of the Eben Skull Knight. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Mocked roundly. You told me it was terrible.
But he is playing Dreadbolt, which I would agree with Predator is decent. But to me, as soon as I see a deck running Dreadbolt, I kind of shudder and say, really? Dreadbolt? Like with Spite Mages? If we're running a deck that needs Dreadbolt, then maybe there's a better build to be had. But I'm looking forward to seeing how well Dreadbolt works out for him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that Dreadbolt's a little bit maybe a little bit outdated at this point with all the new awesome removal that's been released. Specifically, as you mentioned, Spite Mage. But I think in a deck where you're playing Predators, you probably do want at least 2 Dreadbolts in there because that's one of the only hard removals that can go on a guy that you've just put a Predator in front of.
Yep, I agree with that. And I'm kind of surprised to see with all of these spells. I mean, this is a plethora of spells. Not to see Master of Elements.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, I think there just isn't room. Even Skull Knight has some nice built-in synergy where with a Devour, like, you can sort of trigger it so it dies to trigger.
Yep. Same with Spite Mage.
You need a critical mass of spells just for the static shocks. And previously, you would probably see Master of Elements in those Spite Mage slots for creatures, but at this point, you really can't pass on Spite Mage and NT.
Yep, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing how this deck runs, especially since I am done with the dragon deck, leveling all my dragons, and then not seeing my dragons forever. My heart can't take it anymore, Jake. It just can't.
I know. You have an aged heart. I know.
All right, let's go ahead and bring on our competitors. Let's start with Hectares. Let's get his intro music here. All right, Hectares.
Hey, how's it
Welcome
going?
to the show, man. So
All
tell
right.
us a little bit about this unique deck.
So I call this deck the Deepwood Strategist, and the idea is basically to have lots and lots of options to handle a variety of decks in the meta.
All right. And what are the variety of decks that you're thinking that this deck should handle?
So initially I was worried about NT removal, and I saw this Spite Mage as a huge popular threat that was coming through. Everybody wanted to have these things just instantly removing creatures, also serving as aggro, doing damage, and I thought that was really nice flexibility on their side. So I decided to look into armor. If I could stop a Spite Mage from being able to kill a good target, I would have a real nice advantage over somebody who assumed that they could just kill whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really good logic. And so what's going on with Warmonger mod? Are you just looking to throw it on a Thundersaur and win? Is that the plan?
That's a plan. So the idea is if I'm in really good shape and I can go for the win, that's gonna just end games right away. If I'm not in great shape and I use Warmonger mod either defensively or to swing some pressure onto my opponent, I can really change how basically take tempo away from them. And it seemed to work out in a variety of matches, not always the same way, but always helpful to have.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a very interesting deck. So what do you think your chances are against RosenFloggen today, who is in fact running NT?
I'm liking my chances. I think I can get at least 2 wins to each of his one.
Okay, so should we put your odds at about 98.7%?
Yeah, almost. 105%.
105. I like it.
Wow, all right.
All right. Well, I guess we look forward to talking to you after the match since
right.
you're at 105% odds. All right, let's bring in our other competitor today, RosenFloggen. One of my majors as an undergrad was chair dancing, so that's why I'm so good at it.
You triple majored in chair dancing, women's studies, and hat wearing.
Hat wearing? No, that was I think it's habashery. What? How does that go? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. How are you doing, RosenFloggen? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
So NT, huh? I hear NT's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm regrettably sleeving this one up. Digitally sleeving it up. It's something I just threw together last week because I wanted to try some of the new cards, specifically like Even Skull Knight as well as Visor X Spite Mage, who seemed like one of the more insane cards in set 2. So I had to try this deck to see how it performed, and then I was getting a 75% win percentage throughout the weekend, so it's hard to
Nice.
Take myself off of it.
Okay. Well, looking forward to seeing how it works. I guess the first question I have is, Why no Master of Elements? Is there just not room with Ebon Skull Knight and Spite Mage?
So I figured he'd be a little bit slow. That was the main reason. Like he's just a 5/5 on level 1, and then level 2 he's like just a 9/9, which is actually kind of small for some of the creatures in this deck. And then he's not also guaranteed to trigger. I wanted to try a more aggressive approach, which is like why I have like the Spite Mages. They can go to the face from time to time. The Even Skull Knights are just big, and people are reluctant to block them. So there's a lot of games where you can just close things out before you even get to level 3. And I felt like the build that I have right now suits quicker wins a little bit better than Master of Elements did.
Gotcha. And is that the same thing with Scorchmane? Is Scorchmane just a little bit too slow for what you're trying to do?
Yeah, also, like, I'd be more inclined just to discard it to level it, because, like, having a no-stick egg, right after, like, I started seeing a bunch of zombies appearing in the queue, seemed a little haphazard. It just, like, gives a deck that's generally immune to his Wrath's Will target, and having that kind of slot in there, or just having a card where I don't even want to play it, I just want to discard it against a deck that's good at getting stuff into play, didn't seem advantageous to me.
Gotcha. I mean, one thing with Devourer's eggs are kind of nice because you can basically feed your Devourer, but I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what do you think your odds are of winning Hectares' craziness deck?
I put myself at the greater end of a coin flip. I wouldn't say I have overwhelming odds, and I've not actually played this matchup yet, so I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. I've been wanting to see this deck in action since I saw the list from the Forge Watch qualifier, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't feel like anyone's tested this matchup.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody's really played this matchup yet.
I know I haven't. I'm looking forward to seeing it in action so that I can potentially play Hectares' deck in the queue all day if it's interesting. But good luck, RosenFloggen. I think we should put your odds about 110%, just so we can be higher than Hectares.
You're being a little generous. How about 107? Does that seem fair?
Okay, yeah, that sounds
107.
good. All right, so we will see you after the match, since you clearly have higher odds than Hectares. I think now it is time to get this party started, as the youth would say. Let's go ahead and do that.
All right. Before we start, so Grimes.
Yeah.
Who are you picking as a winner?
I gotta pick Hectares. He's got a plan for NT, and RosenFloggen doesn't know what's about to hit him, so I gotta go with Hectares.
Okay, I'm going to take the opposite side because, I'm with the Phoenix forever. So.
Right, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
He could be running NT with, like, the worst cards in the world and Phoenix, and you'd be like, as long as he gets that 2.4 Phoenix, he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about the depth of your analysis.
That's right. I'm interested in seeing how Hectares' deck combats this, though, because I know RosenFloggen's playing a lot of powerful cards.
Mm-hmm. And those little guys like Scarabs and stuff with Devourers on the board, the Devourer's probably happy to see all that stuff trying to eat it up.
That can backfire very easily.
I think
for Hectares.
I think Hectares plays the Ebon Skull Knight here.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you're in the first turn of the game. Leading a Spite Mage isn't awful because you do level it, but I think on 1.1 you can't really pass up on the huge Ebon Skull.
Especially since he's already said he's playing a more pressure variant. Might as well get the pressure out.
Yeah.
And then here we are with the Thunder Sword to answer.
Of course, yeah, Thunder Sword right in front of it is pretty big game.
Thunder Sword's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad.
In case you haven't heard yet, Thunder Sword's not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Yep.
I'm really liking Flame Lance more and more. I had it in my NT deck over the weekend, and it's just such a good card. Removal and face damage is really nice. I'm curious to see here whether he goes 2 spells or whether he just plays a Predator to the board. It looks like he is going to kill the Thunder Sword.
2 spells. He's going to go Shock and then Flame Lance the Thunder Sword.
Exactly. So I guess my question would be, do we need Flame Lance and Spark? It kind of seems like overkill.
Well, see, yeah, and that's definitely the approach I was taking to NTs. You definitely don't want both. At most, you want one or the other. But in a deck like his, where he's very much focused on snowballing those threats, he needs a high, critical mass of spells.
Right.
Both may be correct. And, they do both go to the face later on. If he can get his opponent low, he has so much burn.
Problem is he has only 15 creatures and really only 12 if you don't count Spite Mage. That's not that many creatures. I just wonder if he gets these hands where he's all spells. All right, so
you're not wrong. It's very low.
So he's got his. What he could have done is put. Okay, so he is playing both strategists. I was going to say he could have blocked that strategy and killed the Ebon Skull, and he did. He could have done with a Patriarch though. So I was a little curious which way he would do. Would he go Patriarch in front of it and strategist? He decided to go strategist. So that's kind of an insight.
I like leveling the strategists here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes a lot of sense. And also, the strategist in lane 4 also sets him up for an easy kill and devour next turn. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was just curious to see which way
to
favor. He doesn't have a lot of Patriarch targets, so I could kind of see why he would go that route.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of why he only has 2 Patriarchs in the deck too.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Do I see
there must be an epidemic coming down. Then.
Epidemic here. I guess his theory is with stuff like Nexus Tactician and Scarabs and Gargoyles, Epidemic's pretty good against them.
Yes. This deck is much less focused on the Patriarchs.
Yep.
And much more focused on, all the other smaller guys.
Right. Although he does, by leveling Epidemic, he's going to end up bringing guys into Patriarch range, but his opponent only has 2 Patriarchs, so it's not quite as bad.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's going to play another strategist. Echo Wisp against Devours is fairly dangerous, but I guess we'll see what he decides to go. Maybe he'll Warmonger mod the strategist. That would be amazing.
That would
just to level it.
Just to level the Warmonger mod.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
That's one way to play. You heard it here first, guys.
I'm surprised it's taking this long to think here. It kind of feels like the strategist is the only play. Maybe.
Yeah, I would slam the second strategist.
Maybe it's more of a positioning thing, and he's trying to figure out.
There we go. Yeah, he just wanted to decide where he's moving first.
Yeah. All right, so Phoenix here, or maybe Phoenix Flame Lance.
Phoenix Eye.
Depends on what you want leveled. I mean, he has so few creatures. Can he really afford to have a lot of ashes in his deck, or does he want a lot of ashes in his deck, hoping to hit that 2.4 nut draw?
2 ashes is an acceptable amount of ashes most of the time.
I agree, except for when you have no creatures in your deck. That makes me a little bit leery about having 2 ashes.
Well, just draw them at the right time. That's all.
I think I would probably go Phoenix 2/3 and box in that strategist. It looks like he's not going to.
No, we're looking at Devour right now.
Yep, he's a handsome devil.
He is a handsome devil.
It looks like, yes, he went Epidemic instead.
He goes for the Epidemic, okay. Leaving the 7/6 in his deck, that's fine as well.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of interesting.
Definitely gives him a more consistent play level. Yeah, okay, so what cards? You go for the Nexus Tactician here?
I don't know.
It's also the first Gargoyle he's seen this match.
I think I'm definitely playing Gargoyle.
Okay.
Because Gargoyle with Nexus Tactician is going to be really strong. Although he has leveled 2 Epidemics. But, I mean, if he's leveled Epidemics, it just crushes that Scarab so hard. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah. All right.
Don't mess with that Phoenix.
Okay. RosenFloggen is currently at 92 life.
Yeah, sorry, we can't. We were having a problem. Maybe I can get the life total to display.
Yeah, Tiny Grimes was having a problem capturing the hand for some reason.
Well, yeah, not my problem. Something crazy is happening.
Well, I mean, it's you, so.
Yeah, we can't see the life total. There's something crazy happening.
Okay, we'll keep you updated on his life total.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Periodically.
I forgot that was going to be even a bigger problem than I had originally assessed it to be.
So yes, the score is currently 92 to 65. But we see here a very strong 2.1 hand. The leveled strategist coming down.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good.
Now, the level 2 Patriarch is now out of the deck.
Yep, that's true. I think he's got the Devourer here to drop down, probably in 5, so that doesn't
5
die.
to keep it away from the strategist.
And then
buffing it.
I think I'd be tempted to Spite Mage in front of the Patriarch because it kills it despite being underleveled. Though, actually, I think I'd probably Epidemic over Spite Mage.
Yeah, I would do the Epidemic.
It feels like Epidemic really, really hurts Hectares' deck a lot.
Well, he mentioned that he focused on finding armor to combat all this new kind of removal that's happening, and Epidemic is good against armor decks.
Yep.
Just flat out.
Sure is. All right.
I mean, okay, we see a level 2 Tactician probably coming down, I would think. What's the second card here?
Boy. That's really tough.
The hilarious play is he jetpacks the Strategist to knock out the Devourer.
You know what? I think that's probably the best play because an underleveled Gargoyle and Thundersaur aren't doing that much. And you don't want to let that Devourer get away, and he doesn't actually have removal in this deck.
That's kind of my thought line
if
here.
If he gets away, it's over. I mean, he does have Warmonger mod, so that's sort of removal.
Okay, so with like a pump from a Strategist beside a guy, and then a Warmonger mod, maybe he can catch up to the Devourer if he grows.
But it's kind of dangerous to screw around here. Because if he doesn't engage him and RosenFloggen has another great hand, that could really get away from Hectares.
That's a deep hole to get out of at that point, yeah.
But also, jetpacking over a Strategist is pretty suboptimal. I mean, why not just do what he's doing, Gargoyle, and then move Strategist over next to him, and then be able to take him out that way?
Well, it's just, if depending on RosenFloggen's hand, it can...
it could not work out.
It can go very wrong, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. And it looks like it will because of the Dreadbolt. So now we're getting to see why I don't know what I'm talking about when I said, oh, why would you have a Dreadbolt in your deck? Blah, blah, blah. That's why.
All right, so from RosenFloggen, I think pretty easy Dreadbolt on the Gargoyle, yeah. And then the 8/8 in front of the Strategist, knock it out, yeah. I agree completely. And at this point, the Devourers, he's not insane yet, but he's off to the races.
He's getting there, but he can, right here, he can just go Gargoyle Warmonger mod if he's that worried about him. That is a potential option. I don't know if that's the way he wants to go. And he does not. That's
he does not. He's going to put a Thundersaur in front of it?
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Well,
with the armor.
It lives with the armor, yeah.
Yep, and then he has to pray that RosenFloggen doesn't have one of his 6 Spark plus Lances. That seems unlikely. I don't know. I don't think that's the best play there. I think it looked okay until you're really looking at the options.
So you're thinking about the contents of RosenFloggen's deck because he has 15 spells in his deck.
You know how many
every single one of them will kill Thundersaur at that point, except for Kill the Weak.
Right, so it's 2 Epidemics, kill it, 3 Sparks, 3 Lances. I mean, and the other Dreadbolt. So that's a lot of outs. Yeah, and he got the 2.4 Phoenix. So.
And he has the 2.4 Phoenix here, so he has the spell to knock out the Thundersaur.
I'm going to say it right here. The game is over. this one's over.
That's a possibility.
Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not. It depends, because he's still not completely out of control, because he has the Warmonger mod.
Okay, but Hectares is at 39 life and holding a level 1 hand.
Yes. Now, it's more his hand. I was not taking into account his hand when I made that statement.
Okay.
With his hand, I believe he's just dead.
His hand is atrocious and is not able to recover in this situation.
Yep.
Oh yes, people weren't counting turns. It is a 2.4 Phoenix, and RosenFloggen is currently at 76 life.
Yep. So it's a pretty big hole the Hectares is in here. I'm not even really sure what he can do to not die. Because he's going to take 22 from that Phoenix. He's
taking 22. A guaranteed 10 from the Phoenix when it dies.
Okay, so he's going to double block the Devourer because he can't kill it. So he's just going to take 22 from the Phoenix and then hope he doesn't have 17 in removal or something to remove whatever he puts in. Yeah, and you can't put a 1 strength guy.
You can't do it with Echo Wisp.
And he didn't have a choice there. Like, it wasn't a mistake. Yeah. It was, he doesn't have a choice.
Nothing.
So that is the game. He can just Flame Lance, or I guess he can even
he
better.
Can Static Shock, Grow, Flame Lance, attack for 50.
Yeah, that seems strong. So that one is over. That was pretty good.
That was a solid performance from the NT.
Yeah, NT really got it together there. I mean,
Yeah, so far my prediction, he's playing a lot of powerful cards,
yeah, he really is.
and it's paying off so far.
All right, let's go ahead and do a giveaway.
Yes, we have some codes to give you guys today.
As always on the Forge, because
That's
why?
true.
Because Stoneblade is awesome. That's why.
That's right.
Plain
That's a
and
fact.
simple. So let's go ahead and...
I've actually heard they're also handsome to go alongside it.
They're handsome?
Yeah,
Wow, are they winsome?
probably.
Cool. Actually, we can just do this. Go to Nightbot. All right, Nightbot's going to handle the giveaways today. So if you want to win a giveaway, go ahead and tell us in chat who you think is going to win. Is it going to be Hectares or RosenFloggen? Or as I call him, RosenFloggen, Schmorgen, Blorgen.
Blingin' dingin'.
I don't know if he likes that. He probably doesn't.
I don't know.
I probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, but you like and dislike some strange things.
Not sure that's true.
That hat, for example.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, how about them
Whoa.
words, eh?
We making cracks about the hat? Is that where this has gone now? Because I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to have to say it again. Watch yourself, lest you wreck yourself. Alright, so we're going to start a giveaway here.
Alright, good luck, everybody.
Here we go.
And then
Giveaway.
we usually send the codes out after the Forge is
Actually,
over.
just to be perfectly clear, in order to win a giveaway today, you do have to be a follower of the stream. So make sure you're a follower so that you're eligible to win the giveaway.
Oh yeah, no sad pandas.
So I'll roll it in just a moment. We're going to go ahead and comment on this. So we see Hectares gets to start off right away with an Oros. He didn't get to play an Oros last time that I recall. This puts a little bit of pressure on RosenFloggen right from the start.
Yeah, it's a different approach already because suddenly he's
Look
the
at this,
aggressor
though.
here.
Look, he could go Predator, Shock Spark, see ya, Oros. It looks like he's going to Spite Mage. I'm not sure I would do that. I would be real tempted to go Predator, Shock Spark. But maybe he's thinking a 7/7 Predator isn't quite as good as having a Spite Mage leveled.
I'm thinking the same thing. Growing a Predator and play level 1 is nice. It's a 7/7. It doesn't actually accomplish that much for you.
Mm-hmm. The
It's not like doing it in player level 2.
one thing I would say is that Hectares doesn't have any removal or any ways to minimize him. So in that circumstance, it allows him to make this initial move at 7/7, possibly in front of something that he can then kill depending on his next hand, making him a 9/9 and attacking and having a pretty big lead.
True.
So I don't know. I could
And
see.
he goes for the
either
Thunderstorm here.
way.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't choose to Basher the Predator. I think Basher's a fairly good card against the Devourer decks.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm really surprised at his reluctance to play his Bashers every single game. It happened last game too. He decided not to bash a Predator
Yeah, I think
or a Devourer.
sticking a Predator, a Thundersword to the board without many ways to buff it, especially in the middle lane when he's got Nexus Tacticians, and obviously the Predator's going to move. I don't love that play either.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, I think I would probably go Devour in 5.
Okay.
I think I would have Spite Maged in front of the Gargoyle and left that Thundersword alone.
And left the Thunderstorm there, yeah.
Since, like we just said, he's got a guy he wants to put in 3 anyway. He only has the 2 Patriarchs. This is not your normal buffing
okay,
the Thundersword.
it is kind of nice having the Spite Mage live, though.
That's true. That is true. But the Gargoyle is like the one threat he's got that you can't really handle. But I don't know. Maybe that is the better play.
I don't know.
It's a little more aggro.
At the same time, that Gargoyle's now locked to the left side of the board until that Spite Mage dies because he cannot go in front of it.
Yeah. It's interesting.
In fact, choosing to move away from it as well.
Yep. Not
Which
sure
is
what he does about
interesting.
Thundersoar. I suppose you can just go battle Flame Lance off the Thundersoar.
Yes, no combination of spells in his hand will handle the Thundersoar. The question is, does he want to level a Flame Lance here? You could level 3 cards. You could shock, plus Flame Lance plus a creature. Want to play 2 creatures.
Yeah, but if he does that, then he's got this Thunder Sword that's at least a 5/7, even if you move out of the way. And do you really want to leave a 5/7 there hitting you over and over?
No. See, he does combat first, and then now the Thunder Sword dies.
Yeah, but he's going to
kill it anyway. Looks like
he's killing it. Yeah, I think that's the right play. Grow your Predator, kill the Thunder Sword. I like that play. Ooh, and now he's got what he wants for that Gargoyle. Take that, Gargoyle. Take that, Tiny Grimes, and your claim that Dreadbolt's not good anymore. What an idiot.
Yeah, who's this Tiny Grimes guy?
He doesn't know
Silly
anything.
predictions. Who even lets him play cards?
All right, so the winner of the first giveaway, according to our dear friend and overseer, Nightbot, is Sever. Congratulations, Sever.
Congratulations, Sever.
I know Sever, so I'm happy to see him win. He's a
Wow.
friend.
I see how it is.
Yeah, I programmed Nightbot to only give codes to friends.
Yeah, I see how it is.
That's why you never win codes on this show. All right, Sever, your code is in the mail.
That hurt. That cut me
Yep.
deep.
Yep, it was supposed to.
That's what I get for making a Jupe at the hat.
Yep, don't do that. Dangerous territory, sir.
Yep.
All right, so
how much damage has that Spike Mage done so far? Just throwing that comment out there.
That's true. The score is 86-65 right now.
And that Spike Mage is responsible for at least, 20 damage at this point?
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what he does here. Do you go Scarab? No, it doesn't even. I mean, you could go Scarab in 4, move Strategist over Roar. But is that really the play you want?
I don't know if that's
It's
really
a
the
really
play you
bad
want.
hand.
That double Metasculpt
Yeah.
is not doing him any favors
Brutal.
this hand.
Brutal. Wow. I'm not really sure what you do here. I mean, it feels like Scarab is really bad in this matchup because he's just going to.
It's just so vulnerable to
Epidemic.
Epidemic all the time.
So let's see. I mean, I guess that's fine. And then what's his plan? I guess to put maybe the Patriarch in 2 so that.
He's going for the Scarab.
Okay, so he's boxing in the Phoenix. That's his. Well.
Oh, he's
sort of.
killing the Phoenix.
Yes, okay, so he's killing the Phoenix. He's left the Predator alone, which is probably the right answer. I mean, he couldn't kill it.
Yeah, wait for it to be aggressive. He's about, he's going to play level 2.
Oh,
7/7
boy.
is not that scary.
Oh, boy. So he's
This one,
he's not leveling the Dreadbolt here, which kind of surprises me. I think I would have played the Dreadbolt instead. I know you get a little bit to the face, but
no, I think he wants the damage to the face. His opponent's already at 44.
he's going to try to just rush him down.
He's going to rush him down.
Yeah, I guess
He's got a 13/13 Predator down. There's not a lot his opponent can do about it for this turn. So that's at least 13 damage.
Yeah, I guess we are really early in the 2s. He's trying
Yeah.
to end this game before we even make it out of the 2s.
Yeah, he's pushing it hard. And he has the capability to do that. He has a leveled Spike Mage that can just do 8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the full complement of Shocks and Sparks, and Flame Lances. Like, that is a lot of burn spells. He's got 9 burn spells in his deck. They can go to the face.
Yep. And he's got 3 damage in hand, which is not enough to kill the Scarab. So he won't be able to grow off of the Scarab.
Right. Okay.
But he will be able to play that Devourer. And, I mean, I guess play maybe the Ebon Skull Knight in 1.
That or the Phoenix. Probably the Knight, just because he is trying to aggro down here.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, putting the Devourer down anywhere but 1 means it dies to the Strategist. So that's actually, I mean, I guess one it dies to the Scarab. But my point is, putting down the Devourer anywhere might actually not work. It might be better. Well, I think it's still better because you want to get him leveled.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You get a Devourer on 3. Your opponent trades what's left of his board for it.
What you could do is move the Predator into 1. Play the
Right.
Devourer. Would the Devourer still not going to be big enough though? He's only going to be a.
No, I think you want to do 13 with the Predator here.
Yeah, I think you do too.
I could be crazy. I don't know.
come up with a way to let that Devour live, and the bottom line is he's not going to live.
Yeah.
He's going to die.
No, I think he's going to die, but that's not really a problem.
Right. I'm kind of surprised
He does go
did
for the
that.
Phoenix. Okay. I mean, that was my initial inclination.
Huh.
He wants the Phoenix leveled. If he does have to go to the late game, he wants a backup plan. Simple as that.
Yeah, but a better backup plan might be a 13-13 Ebon Skull on player level 3 rather than an Ash that you're praying to hit on 3.4.
Well, okay, but that's the thing is, in player level 3, against your opponent's deck, a 13-13 isn't actually going to do that much. Your opponent's playing level 3 Thunder Swords at that point.
Yeah,
A
perhaps.
13-13 is a sitting duck target, whereas the Phoenix, if he does hit it at the end of player level 3, is just going to end the game no matter what.
Sure. It's a reasonable assertion.
Like, his opponent's below 32 already, so the Phoenix is lethal
Oh,
by
actually,
itself.
I think the main reason that he did it is because he wanted the Phoenix to die to grow the Devour
To
out of
go the
range.
Devour as well out of the 8. Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
that's the
I
pretty
would always
obvious play.
assume that my opponent's able to buff, but he doesn't force his opponent to play his Roar
Yeah.
now.
I mean, it is a big difference because instead of being able to play like Oros Thundersaur, now he's got to play the Roar. So that's, I mean, you're totally right that he's not going to live, but it does force him into a play that I don't think he wants to make.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I wouldn't consider it hyper relevant to either side of the play because your opponent playing Roar here is fine if your opponent as well. Like, he's just going to play Thundersaur and Roar the board.
Mm-hmm. My point is, if he had played the Ebon Skull instead, that would have allowed him to go Thundersaur.
No, I know, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I don't think Thundersaur Oros is actually even better. So.
Interesting. All right, well, that's a big Thundersaur now, and he's got his secret weapon. So the score is 80-31. RosenFloggen is only taking a little bit of damage. He's got a burn spell for him. He's got the Dreadbolt for the other one, and I think we can call this one over.
Yeah, it's over. Like, see, that's my point. Though. I don't think playing
Yeah.
Oros that turn, if he hadn't had to play the Roar, does absolutely anything. Is all. So.
Man, oh man, this it's been a really good card in this matchup. Dreadbolt.
Yeah,
can't-
it's been pretty solid, hasn't it?
I can't believe that you said Dreadbolt wasn't going to be that good in this meta.
Yeah, that's not what happened. I explicitly said, if you're playing the Devours and the Predators, stick with the Predators.
Nope, can't go back
You'll
in
want
time now, Jake.
I
It's
even
too late.
gave a number.
It's too late, Jake.
Dreadbolts.
It's too late. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let Nightbot control another giveaway.
All right.
I think we're just gonna give this one away. So let's see, how do we do that? Nightbot, what happened? Here we go. Start a new giveaway. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Starting the giveaway now. The winner is Bal Sagoth. Good job, sir. You
Congratulations,
are a winner.
Bal Sagoth. Or possibly Bale. However you want to
I
pronounce
think it's
it.
probably Bale, as someone who studies that period. We're going to go with
And
Bal.
knows it's Bale.
Because I do enjoy mispronouncing names quite a lot, actually. I don't know if you knew that. It's one of my hobbies.
You're very good
Congratulations,
at
sir. Hopefully I just sent that to the right person. Let's make sure. Let's make sure I didn't send Sever 2 codes. Nope. Cool. All right, so here we go.
Grahaminator, all you have to do to enter for the giveaways is type anything into the chat, and
Yep.
Nightbot will pick you up, and you'll be eligible.
Just
All right, we have 1.1 Ibn Skull Knight again. Leading off pretty strong. Bless you, sir.
I got some allergies happening today.
Wow.
That's what
Feel for it.
happens when it's 80 degrees out.
80 degrees, wow. It's
Yeah.
warm here, too, but, it's like 0.
Right, yeah, it's up to 0. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. We're enjoying it.
So do you go like Predator Dreadbolt here, or do you go more along the lines of like Dreadbolt and just clear? Sorry, he's a 4/5. I need to enlarge this so I can actually see numbers. So let's not do that.
I would definitely say Predator Dreadbolt.
Yeah, Predator Dreadbolt
Yeah, the
seems pretty
Oros.
clear.
Yeah.
It's not
You keep
a
the
lot.
life gain off the table. You keep your opponent's board fairly weak. His strategist will allow him to buff potentially to handle some stuff, but doesn't actually kill anything on its own.
Yeah, he'd have to buff him quite a bit It'd have to warmonger him. He can't even roar him.
Yeah.
I guess he could go.
Predators plus roar.
Yeah, right. I mean, you have to assume as the Predator player that he's not going to pull Predator plus roar. Yes, you have to press the NE key. Exactly.
Yes.
And if you press
find
tab
on your keyboard the NE key.
if you press tab,
press that
Jake
one.
will deliver a tab colo to you soon. Jake probably doesn't get these inside jokes because he's so youthful.
Yeah, I'm too young to know anything.
Yep. He hasn't developed his wisdom yet.
Yeah. I'm not old and wise like Tiny
That's
Grimes.
right.
He's like a tree.
Not withered, wise. Doesn't look like he has great options here, actually. Okay. So he's going to go the buff route instead to kill the Ebon Skull, which is really interesting. You have the choice to buff and kill the Predator or kill the guy that's going to die on its own, and you choose to kill the guy that's going to die on its own.
I mean, okay, why he did is he's worried about taking 16.
Oh, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand that. It's just the Predator is only one less attack, and it grows.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't attacking yet, is the thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that that's how good the Ebon Skull Knight is. That even though it's going to die on its own, you still actually have to handle this thing.
Yeah, Ebon Skull has proven himself to be the real deal.
Yeah, he is good.
Oh, and here comes the Phoenixes.
Yep,
Phoenix Eye?
in mass.
A blaze of Phoenix, I believe, is what we decided on the Facebook group once.
That's actually pretty good. I like that. I can get behind
yeah,
that.
it's not bad.
Ooh, boy. So does he go like Thundersaur, Patriarch, and then he would need 7 removal to be able to kill him. So 7 removal.
I mean, against any normal
hard to
deck,
come
I think
by.
you'd slam Thundersaur in 1 and play Patriarch, right? But I don't know if that's the play against this deck.
I don't think Echo Wisp is the play. So then you're left with, you would have to go Gargoyle.
But what does he accomplish?
Right, and you're not killing anything. He's smaller than everyone. I don't know. I'm kind of shocked at how dominating RosenFloggen has been in this matchup. I did not think it was going to be this one-sided. To the point where Hectares doesn't even look to have plays on his turns. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, he's running them over, game after game. Sorry, which side did you predict for winning?
I'm pretty sure I said RosenFloggen 3-0.
Interesting.
I call it revisionist history.
Yeah. It's pretty big these days.
I don't really know. I guess you play Patriarch here? Or do you just stick Thundersaur in front of...
You just stick Thundersaur and pray your opponent doesn't have 5 damage.
That's so
in his hand.
dangerous. I like the other way better if you're going to do that, because he's going to have 5. Like, half his deck is 5. And
Oh,
so
man,
now-
that could be one heck of a Devourer this turn.
That's true. But it's only a Devour 1. It'll die.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. He has the potential here to go.
Yeah, I think I would
Pretty-
go Spite Mage in 5, Flame Lance, the Predator, or the
You don't
Thundersaur.
want to Devour leveled at all? I think he needs to plan more for player level 2.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you do that. Play a single Devour,
Yeah.
Shock,
and
and
then
Lance.
Shock, Flame Lance, yeah.
Yeah, that's better. I mean, he could have done a lot of damage here. He could have just moved his guys over.
Yeah, he could have just pushed the 14 with the Phoenixes. You're right.
And then the 9 with the Predator. I mean, that would put him at 56 already, which would have been kind of scary. But I guess thinking about it, even a level 1 Devourer, who normally is not good, Hectares has no actual way to deal with him.
No, he can't kill either of Rosen's creatures this turn.
Yep. I'm a little bit confused why we keep going back to the Thundersaur well, and I think it comes down to he doesn't have another play. Like, he just keeps drawing these hands where he doesn't have actual plays.
Yeah, and I mean the unfortunate part is Thundersaur is, downright, let's even say very bad against NT.
Yeah, I think you just go...
And in fact, he's about to get destroyed again here. He's going to play
Right.
GGD2 and then Dreadbolt the Thundersaur.
Exactly,
Throw
and then-
both his guys. It's just going to be
Yeah, it's... I mean, on the plus side, the Devourer 1 will probably die on Hectares' turn.
Okay, that's
there we
the
go.
plus
We
side.
found the plus. We found the silver lining. You're welcome, everyone. And I think that's the way to go, too. You don't... It's way too early for Phoenix Egg. I think he's going to win in player level 2. I think that Devourer 2 will win the
If
game.
he doesn't, he's gonna come close here.
Yeah, I really think this Devourer 2 will win.
It has, it's gonna get the double trigger off the middle lane.
Yep.
Something's got to start blocking that Predator.
Right.
And nothing can kill it.
Yep. This looks like...
there's no Warmonger mod to save him here.
Right.
You can't strategist and Warmonger mod it to 16 to knock out the Predator.
Yep. That would probably be the play if he had it. But if he did that, then the Devourer's at 11-9.
Then the Devourer's just, I know.
13,
I know.
he'd be at
It's a deep hole
15.
that is started being dug here.
He'd actually be at 17. Yeah, I don't really know what he does here. That's probably his best play.
That's probably as good as it gets.
Ignore that
the Predator
Predator.
hit you. It's putting him so low though.
And hope. There's a lot of hope. We just go double Ebon Skull here? I think you do. Just serious pressure it.
What is he, 2.0? Yeah. It's fairly early.
Yep.
I think he can get away with it. Yeah, he's going for it.
Yep. I think that's the right play. I think he moved him to the middle just to stop some sort of weird Nexus Tactician shenanigans.
Weird armor math play where he just barely squeaks out.
I guess there was no way to hide Predator was the problem. Even if you put him in one, strategist
the strategist can get anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I actually like putting it there because now he's unable to say move the strategist out of the way of the knight and still get the buff for killing the Predator unless he puts it all the way over in 2.
Yep, exactly.
In which case it's not attacking anything this turn, which is what RosenFloggen wants. He wants to just push damage.
Yep, exactly. So this is the problem with going to that Thundersaur well so many times. Now you got another Thundersaur, and he's still not able to do anything.
In fairness, this one is better than the last bunch of because once it's 0-24, it sort of stands on its own a little bit better.
Back to the well. Oh, I feel so bad for him. That well is so not worked out. And he just pulls another Dreadbolt 2 and kills him again. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that is... Oh, man. That Predator 1 has grown a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know how I was saying, level 2? Or rather, 7/7 Predator, level 1, doesn't do much. Well, you keep growing it like 5 times, it gets there in the end.
And you play against a deck that really doesn't have removal and keeps putting Thundersaurs in front of it. Not bad plays, mind you, just... I don't have any other cards to play right now. I guess I'm playing a Thundersaur in front of it, hoping, and it's just not working out. I'm pretty sure these guys actually, this is like a thing they put together to make me look stupid, because they knew that I would say Dreadbolt wasn't good in this meta, and then they just wanted to show how good Dreadbolt could be. Pretty sure that's what happened. I might be wrong.
It's certainly been shining today.
Yeah, Dreadbolt is looking like just an all-star right now. All right, so
he can clear the board, right?
Let's see, how much does the strategist buff? Is it?
I'm assuming it's +4. I think level 2 is +4, same as the other guy.
Yeah, so he could go strategist and 3 roar, and that would do it. Nope, that wouldn't do it.
No, that doesn't kill the knight.
Does he have a way to live here? I don't think he does. I mean, I guess he could then double block the knight.
He's just going to block again after combat. He's putting the gargoyle down to kill the Predator. He's just going to block the knight again after.
My goodness. Talk about value out of that knight. And the knight's not going to die?
Well, it's going to die at the end of RosenFloggen's turn.
That's true, but that's pretty crazy. They put that many cards into it, and then he's just going to cull that guy and win. Or decide to shock Spark to the face. He had lots of ways to win.
All right, so
wow. All
I believe it was Jake Almighty who predicted RosenFloggen winning with the power NT cards.
Yeah, and that worked. I'm gonna say this. That worked. All right, we're gonna do the last code giveaway right now. So I'm starting it. Here we go. The winner is Daniel Dubois.
Congratulations, Daniel Dubois. I recognize his name. I've played against him in Tournament Q a few times.
I recognize him as well. So let's go ahead and welcome back RosenFloggen.
Hey there.
Hey, good showing, sir.
Yeah, those games were brutal. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, looking at his hands, he often just had literally no play to make. It was like you had your Predator out, and every guy he could play would die to the Predator. And he's just kind of like, okay, I could play a Scarab that would die to Epidemic in the Predator, or I could play this Thundersaur that will sit in front of the Predator, and then I can just pray he doesn't draw one of his 8 outs to kill this Thundersaur. That was brutal. Well done, sir.
Thank you. I mean, it was really like my opponent just not having very good cards. Like, the Thundersaurs there are just, they're not what you want in that matchup, I feel. Like, the card I was more scared of there for sure was, like, the Strategist, the Oros, and the Gargoyles, and I just didn't see them a lot.
Yes. And I really feel like you guys set me up, because I made my proclamation. I didn't think Dreadbolt was a great choice in this meta. You know, in your deck it seemed to look okay, but generally I don't like decks that run Dreadbolt. And then you just destroyed the world with Dreadbolt.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was definitely the better side of Dreadbolt, I think, for sure. My original list, the one I had initially posted in my article, was 3 Dreadbolts with no Cold Weeks and then 3 Epidemics, which was not correct after I was getting housed by Yetis. And so I switched out like 1 Epidemic and 1 Dreadbolt, and just went with like a 2-2-2 split on the most removal. The Blight Mage catches like most creatures you care about, and now you just have 5 ways to steal creatures big or small. That's the main reason the Dreadbolts are there. Also to deal with like the Devourers and then the Gargoyles, which are like still a problem if you're not able to draw into your Blight Mages in time.
Yep, I agree. That and I gotta say, I think I like this deck of NT better than the list I was playing. The list I was playing was much more play really good cards level 1 and then just pray to the Soulforged gods that you then hit them later because they don't do anything in level 1. And you know, I just realized, Jake, and I'm sure you realize this list doesn't have Zemus in any way.
Yeah,
I've gotten that question a lot, by the way. Why it's not in there.
well, it doesn't really make sense in a deck like this, to be honest.
I guess my question is, how does this deck fare against another NT removal deck that is running Zemus? It feels like you would be at a slight disadvantage, or are you able to just pressure enough that you win before Zemus 3 it becomes an issue?
It kind of depends on the draws a little bit. I mean, the most important card I think in that matchup, after like playing against the mirror match a few times in the queues, has been Everflame Phoenix. So like I'm leveling every Phoenix I see in hopes of being able to get it on 2.4, just to be able to like Mize a level 3 like before I actually become level 3. And even if they're like leveling up Zemuses, I feel like whoever gets the Phoenix on 2.4 can't actually lose the game. I've not seen it happen yet. So like that's the thing that matters the most. Zemus is a little backbreaking, but you can still like out aggro them if their hand's not very good. I think this one's a little bit more proactive than some of the other builds of NT I've seen previous, which is the reason I've been liking it so far.
Yeah, it's far more proactive. The other question I would have is, in that matchup, it feels like Devourer moves from All-Star to not that good because of Spite Mage. You know, as soon as you start growing a Devourer, they just drop the Spite Mage down and take him out.
You're 100% right. He's the worst card if I was expecting a format full of NT. In fact, like if you were expecting to play against like NT like 2 to 3 times every time you're playing against the constructed queue, I'd 100% like take them out for Zemus the Undying instead. Just having that card is going to be a little bit better. But like in an unknown constructed queue where you can play against whatever, I really like the Devourers.
I like the Devourers quite a bit in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, and they just synergize so well with the Blight Mage, which is like my favorite reason for like wanting to play them and try them out.
Another thing I just realized is that you don't have Circes or Blightwalkers. Is that because you have 3 Lances, 3 Sparks? They're sort of taking that slot?
Circe may actually be good. I mean, the main reason I haven't run it is because I only have 1 right now, so I'm waiting until May 1st to craft the other 2. or until I can
Gotcha.
spike some from the prize packs.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Even-
like,
even that
it's
aside, you
possible
need,
taking out the
you
static
need a
shocks is
certain
going to be a
number
little
of
better,
spells.
and then you can not be so spell heavy, and then you run Cersei instead.
I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of that. What'd you say?
It's possible you can take out the static shocks, be a little less spell heavy, and then you can play the Cersei's instead. And the Cersei's are creatures, so they feed the Devourer as well, and they're just removal.
Right. My only question would be then, does Predator become slightly worse? Because one of the reasons why he was so amazing this game is because you had the shocks, the lances, and the sparks. So it was like, no matter what he had left, the Predator was going to eat it because you had so much direct removal. Whereas Cersei doesn't work in quite the same way.
You're right, that's definitely the downside. Surprisingly, losing the static shocks does prevent you from killing some number of relatively tier 1 creatures.
Gross.
Yeah, like that you can have in front of the Predator. I think I'd probably still run them, but I can't say for certain until I got a chance to test with the Cersei's a little bit more.
Yeah. What do you think, Jake? It feels to me like Cersei doesn't actually go in this deck.
Yeah, I think it's a conflicting style of play. I mean, yes, creature-based removal is good with Devourer for sure, but I think you would have to be without Predator, and you would end up sort of closer to control overall if you did try and run them.
Yep. I think it's two different deck types, and I really like this deck. I think I'll try it. I'll probably run a couple games against Jake and his NT control, and we'll see how badly that goes. I'm worried that the Zemus problem will be too prevalent in that, in the mirror. But as you say, I think this handles the field quite a bit better than the current NT control deck.
Yeah, this deck seems very solid against anything, Utera, Loyan sort of based. I do think it will struggle against the slower NT control decks just because it has a relatively low threat density, whereas that control deck is still running so much effective removal. Like, it's going to kill every Predator Devourer you put down. The only way around that, really, as Rosen mentioned, is, playing a successful 2.4 Phoenix to get ahead.
That'll be interesting. But I like it. I like how successful you were against poor Hectares. I was deprived of seeing Scarab Madness. This is 2 matches in a row with Hectares where I was promised Scarabs, and I didn't see Scarabs. All right. Well, congratulations, RosenFloggen, and your dump truck full of gold will be on its way soon.
Sweet. Thanks for having me on the stream, dude.
All right. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for doing this.
Have a good one.
All right. So until next time, we'll see you again on the Forge, where 2 enter, 1 leaves champion, and 1 leaves beaten, battered, and bruised.